Sure. First of all, Hannah, what was kind of what was really working for you inside? I mean, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Going up against somebody like Leet, who's a little bit bigger than you are, but you were still able to kind of control inside. What was working for you?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to change your game playing against a bigger opponent. But I think our 3-point percentage and my teammates' ability to shoot the three really helped me score inside.
And Liv, this is 8 in a row for you guys. That last game against Pitt down in the Virgin Islands started this win streak. Has there been any change in the way you guys handle things on and off the court that's kind of led to this, or is this just building up and kind of what you expected?
I think we expected to have a successful season, but I think that down in the Virgin Islands things didn't go not go our way, but we didn't perform how we wanted to, and so Pitt was kind of a game changer for a different kind of momentum.
And Hannah, what's kind of the object then going forward here? You guys have a lot of momentum. How do you keep it going?
I think just staying focused on each game. We have NDSU next, and so we obviously have tomorrow to prepare for them, so just staying locked in.
Liv, obviously some games you try to attack early, but this you are passing a lot around the arc. Was that sort of what North Dakota was giving you guys, just the three-pointer?
Well, I think that is an ode to Hannah's presence inside, where they have to double and assist down low, and so she found us on the arc quite a few times, so that is an ode to her presence.
And how comfortable do you feel with that three-point shot? You hit one early, and then you were taking a few throughout the game. Is that something that you?
2 for 5s. Yeah.
I think throughout my career, I've just learned to forget about the misses, and yeah, it doesn't matter if I miss. Just get comfortable.
Yeah. Is it nice that first conference home game is a comfortable one?
Yeah.
Ladies, and all this for both of you, and in the first 3 conference games so far, you've held your opponent to under 40% shooting. What's been progressively working defensively?
I think mainly communication and just having defensive intensity. That's something that we've been growing throughout the years. I think is our defensive intensity and and holding people down. And so I think it's just kind of been a gradual thing. I think for you and I and Chloe, us 3 and our communication has really helped kind of build and then bringing up the younger girls in that sense too.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely something we focus on, if not our priority. And Coach P hones in on it, so I think we always know where we're at and know we're always trying to get better.
And like you said, defense is priority. It's probably your calling card, especially in the last couple of years. Do you both feel like the defense is progressively getting better, and are you at your ceiling yet in terms of that defense?
I definitely don't think we're at our ceiling. I think there are always ways to improve and kind of lulls we have where we kind of have to regroup and get back to having that intensity.
And Hannah, rebounding is a big part of that. You defended the glass well again tonight. Is that something you've been focusing on throughout the season?
Yeah, that's always a focus for our posts and our guards. I think if you can get the rebounds, you stop them right there.
Certainly, I thought it was a great effort game against North Dakota. They're a team that plays really, really hard. They play really, really fast. And I thought our players had to find a way to match that intensity, and that's a challenge to do. And I thought our players played really hard. I thought we did a lot of good things. I thought, when we missed some defensive assignments in the first half, they scored against us. At halftime, we talked about some things, making some adjustments. And I thought third quarter really responded and really did a nice job defensively until late when we started to foul them too much. But overall, I thought we shared the basketball. I thought we took with the shots that they were, making us take in that type of a game. Shared the ball, made a bunch of arc shots, and scored it efficiently. Had a number of players see some action. Good to have Morgan Hansen and Reagan Sankey back on the court after their injury, so that was really good to see. So I thought there was a lot of growth in this type of a game, and that's going to be important for us heading into the rest of the Summit League action and certainly with Saturday against North Dakota State.
Did you feel that this was maybe the most balanced offense in terms of inside-outside shooting you've had most of the year?
I think it was, and I think certainly some of that, has to do with confidence of players, but also some of it is recognizing what teams are, how they're playing against you, and what kind of shots are good shots against their defense. And, North Dakota made it tough because they were really trying to pack in the lane and not give us opportunities to post up, whether that's Hannah or one of our perimeter kids. Thought that made it a challenge. I thought they really kind of gap helped a lot. They switched a bunch of screens, and then they opted not to switch as many screens, went into a zone for a little while. So kept giving us different looks, and I think it's really important that our players continue to be aggressive and also be smart at the same time.
In these last 4 or 5 games, it seems like the offense is just continually getting more and more efficient. Is this something you were kind of waiting for that you knew would come eventually?
Well, I think it's something with this team. We know they have the ability to shoot the basketball and score the basketball at the rim and with a number of different players in a lot of different ways. And so we get to see it in practice, and we've kind of been waiting for it to kind of come to fruition in games. And it's been our offense has been more efficient as of late. Now, again, that being said, you play against North Dakota State on Saturday, who can give you a bunch of different looks defensively and be really aggressive. And so we're going to be really challenged in that matchup with it.
And 8 wins in a row now. Looking back on it, that win against Pitt that started this winning streak, was that kind of a momentum builder, motivation builder for this team now after, looking at it eight in a row now?
I think our effort was really, really good in that Pitt game, and I think our resilience was really good because we had to come from behind in the first half and then took a lead and then had to come back again late in the game and then kind of took off in overtime. And so the ebbs and the flows in the game, I think, are something that are really important, to understand how to continue to attack, how to be smart when you're attacking. And, I do think our kids were playing hard prior to that time. Things just didn't really go our way in all those games. So, good to see our kids being rewarded for working hard and doing the right things.
Has there been any change at all, minor or anything, to the offense, or is it just sort of a matter of making shots?
I think we've continued to understand and kind of tweak kind of some of our looks and understanding of how to screen and when to screen and some of those type of things. So I think we continue to work on different areas within our motion offense, within our transition offense, and, starting to come together a little bit.
You mentioned a few, but are there any people that you were excited to see get on the court, get some minutes today, and maybe score some points?
Well, I thought a lot of young ladies played really well. Natalie may not have scored a lot of points for us, but I thought she really took a big step forward defensively. I thought Janiyah really came in and gave us a huge boost when she was in the game with some energy plays that she made. I thought Macy and Reagan handled the ball at crunch time for us and did a really nice job in that situation. Grace saw a lot of really important minutes, and I think continues to really excel and continues to keep getting better. Kind of fun to see the matchup at the end with Allison Popowski and Aspen Williston. We had some really good size, and then they were switching. We were able to get the ball inside to Pep. And so, I thought there were a lot of really good things for us to see in this game, in addition to having Morgan and Reagan back from injury. So, and those two, trying to keep them fresh and limit opportunities, certainly as they're coming back, that can be a challenge. So want to also be smart with it at the same time.
Do you expect the rotation to continue to tighten, or do you feel like it will be?
I think it all depends game to game, and I think certainly, finding ways to continue to grow in all different ways is really important for us.
And just general, what's your reaction to sort of the state of what's going on with the COVID cancellation?
Yeah, it's really challenging, and so I think certainly our goal as a program is to continue doing whatever we can to keep our kids safe and coaches safe and everyone involved in our program. And so we've been a little bit more cautious certainly in the things that we're doing and making sure that we're trying to do everything we can to keep our kids in the best possible situation. But it is something that is certainly nerve-wracking at this point in time. I think more cancellations this year than we saw last year. I think more cancellations yesterday in women's basketball than there are actually games that were played. And so certainly, we want to make sure we're at least being as intelligent as possible, as careful as possible, and then, see what happens from there. But yeah, it's kind of a nerve-wracking time at that point.
And sort of how this happened the first time, but this sort of happened kind of suddenly. Did you coming into the season, expect any cancellation to happen? Anything like this could possibly happen?
Well, I think what's really been challenging is that so many of the student athletes who have been testing positive are vaccinated, and that really you're hoping that by having at least a number of your athletes vaccinated, that it gave us a better chance of hopefully staying away from the cancellations and situations. And so, yeah, I don't know that we expected it, but, certainly we were hoping that we wouldn't be at this point, but now we're just trying to hope we can keep playing games. That's important.
What changes have been made defensively? Maybe even going back from the Pitt game, what things have been progressing defensively?
Well, I think our mindset in this group has been a team that really wants to be a great defensive team, and that starts with the players wanting to do that, because it demands an awful lot out of them from a physical standpoint, and then also from an understanding standpoint. It's just a very, very wearing type of thing to have that intensity at all times. And so, first of all, I think they've been a team that's wanted to be that type of a team, and that's where it starts from. And I think they kind of get upset when they get scored on, and that's something that is the reason why our defense has been good, is because they care a great deal.
And I'm sure finishing possessions is a big key of that, limiting teams to just one shot. What have you seen on the glass in the last few games?
Well, it certainly is a big part of it for us, trying to make sure that shots are challenged while not fouling them, which is important for us, but also finishing plays. And, I think this has been a team that has the ability to do it, but again, it's not easy, because I know you're getting people's best shots, and so that means they're flying to the offensive glass. So you're trying to keep them off the glass, but you're also trying to do that without fouling at the same time. And so I think it certainly is a major challenge, and it's something that each team may do a little bit differently, in how they really attack the glass. And I think North Dakota is a team that's really hard to keep off the glass, because they just fly to the offensive boards, and it's all 5 players. So, I give them a lot of credit, because I think they play at a very, very high level. They play hard.
I'm sure the defense isn't at its ceiling yet. Where do you think this defense can still improve?
Yeah, I think certainly one of the areas for us, I think, is just being able to continue to make adjustments. We have to guard teams differently, whether it's from one game to the next, whether it's from we tried something, we thought it was going to work, we have to make adjustments. And so their willingness to do that's really important. I think their understanding of their opponent is really, really important. And that takes a lot of time to really study. And so they've got to really stay locked in and want to be that type of a team in order for us to continue to get better.
And kind of like what Michael asked with the COVID cancellations and not knowing if you're going to play that night, or is it hard to stay locked in when there's so many intangibles with that?
I think it's a challenge, certainly from a mindset standpoint, but at the same time, we talk about enjoying the precious present, being in the here and now, and so that's something that is what we can only control what we can control, and there's so much of this right now that is completely out of anybody's control. And so, I think we are going to forge ahead and be the best and be as prudent and as intelligent and as careful as possible. At the same time, we're going to continue to grind, because we've got to continue to be ready.
You mentioned Grace has played valuable minutes tonight. How is she kind of handling her role? And did you know at the beginning of the season that she was going to be that player who could handle a role like she has, even as a freshman? Yeah,
we thought throughout the process that Grace is someone who just plays with a lot of tenacity, and is someone who she plays really hard, and she plays without fear. And then it's a matter of teaching her how to play within the scope of what we want to do, and make reads and understand how different teams defend her, and then how she needs to defend. And so there's a lot of learning that takes place, certainly at any point in time in your career, but most of all, there's a big influx of new things when you're a freshman. I think Grace has handled all of that at a very, very high level. So are we surprised that she's playing well? No. I think she's a very good basketball player, very talented young lady, and tough young lady.
Considering how well she's playing, do you think she'll get more responsibility? Do you think she'll have a longer leash, so to speak?
I think so. I think she's someone who, we certainly as coaches trust, her teammates really trust, and so someone that as she continues to feel more and more comfortable with it, yeah, I think that's certainly a very, very good possibility.
I think Grace is your first Iowa recruit that you landed. How did you land her, and do you feel like that this can kind of spark something that maybe you can make a footprint in Iowa in the recruiting standpoint?
I see where you're going with this. That's really well played, being from Sioux City. I like it. That's kind of good stuff. Yeah, Iowa's is an important state for us. That's great, and so we hope it does. We certainly do. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah!